Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day for your Monday from around the National Hockey League, and we'll start off with Columbus. Joonas Korpisalo has been activated from the IR. He returns, so that means that JF Berube gets assigned to the AHL. Berube gave them very good goaltending when he got called up. Kudos to him for that. Who knows? Maybe it means somebody gives him more of a look next season. But yeah, so that's what you need. You need that competent goaltender from the number 3 in your system, or the number 4, or the number 5. I mean, we've gone as far as number 6 in the NHL this year, so depth in goal is suddenly a really big deal. Detroit news, Jacob Vrana's not cleared yet, but he's very close. At practice, he's on the line with Suter and Fabry. They've bumped Bertuzzi back up to the top line at practice, so having them on these lines at practice means he's close. So while he's not officially cleared, he may be cleared in time for tomorrow's game. Rowney has been placed back on the IR. It feels like Rowney just came back, which means that Joe Veleno's been recalled. So Veleno's time in the AHL does not last very long, but sadly Rowney's return didn't seem to last very long either. A little bit of shuffling going on with the St. Louis Blues, coming off of a disappointing weekend. Both Costin and Joshua have been demoted to the AHL. Joshua was a healthy scratch yesterday. Costin only played a handful of minutes. I think it was 4 minutes and some seconds. So they've called up Mackenzie McEachern, and Toropchenko's also been called up. I like McEachern, but again, for St. Louis, if they feel like things need to be changed up, you've got a trade deadline in 2 weeks. It's a good time to start making phone calls and see what you can do. So, again, I do expect to start seeing trades as soon as today. And because there has to be a GM out there that wants to get ahead of the craziness of the trade deadline, right? So we'll see if St. Louis might be that team. Goaltending, a related item here as well for Florida. Spencer Knight starting tonight against Buffalo. Normally that wouldn't be a big deal, but it feels like it is. So Spencer Knight was sent down to the AHL. Some mixed results in the AHL, some good, some bad, this and that. Now he's back up, and it feels like this might be an opportunity for him to come out and have a good game against Buffalo. If he doesn't, maybe Florida looks to upgrade their backup spot at the deadline. They may be looking at that anyways, but again, Spencer Knight called up and starting tonight. We'll see whether or not he plays well. And again, if he does, then maybe they'll say, all right, well, we'll be fine. But they may very well be in the market for a goaltender at the deadline. There will be some goaltenders available. Will they be an upgrade on Spencer Knight's really the question. That's the thing that I wondered too is, I mean, there's an obvious one, Fleury, right, who would be an upgrade over a lot of goaltenders in terms of backups, and it may be better than some of the starters too, but there's that $7 million cap hit for Fleury and everything, so we'll see if Spencer Knight does well and if Florida does anything at the deadline with their goaltending. But yeah, so that's one reason to watch the Florida-Buffalo game tonight. Or I kind of expect Florida to just run them over. I expect them to have one shot 10 minutes in the game and to be thinking to myself, well, they look like they don't have their A game, and then there you go. Then they just run them over 5-1. So, your 3 stars of the week this week, not a huge surprise. The 3 names that are on the board, Jason Robertson, back-to-back hat tricks for him. Excellent week for him. He is dragging Dallas into the playoffs. I am ecstatic at how he's been playing. It's been absolutely sensational watching him. As good as he was last year, and he was very good last year, he has been a next-level superstar this year for Dallas. Nick Schmaltz, the number 2 star, having 7 points in one game, it'll make you one of the stars of the week. So Schmaltz, who's also been on quite the tear lately, I think he's got 9 goals in his last 9 games. I know he's got a point streak going on. So Schmaltz has been playing very, very well. Does Arizona hold on to him? Do they think about, hey, his value's up, so maybe he does have a contract that's beyond this season, so he may have a lot of value. And with Arizona, you have to think almost anybody could be for sale at the right price. Almost. Clayton Keller would be an untouchable. Maybe Schmaltz is too. But if they're willing to move Chychrun, maybe Schmaltz, they'd be willing to. Again, it'd have to be for a fantastic price. And then your 3rd star of the week is Igor Shesterkin, who, ho-hum, only saved 45 out of... It was 45 out of 46 yesterday, right? Because the thing that I find funny... Yeah, 45 out of 46. The thing that I find funny is people saying, well, it wasn't really that hard of a game, though. 46 shots, he saves 45, and it's... So that's where we're at with Shesterkin now, is that he can save almost 50 shots in a game, and people go, yeah, but they weren't all from the slot, and they weren't all fantastic shots, so it's not that impressive. All right, so and it is funny because the elite goaltenders in the NHL, you will see that that happens a lot, where they'll make all kinds of saves, they'll play really well, and people will say, yeah, but, and sometimes it can be warranted where all the shots might be from the point, that kind of thing, but many cases they make some highlight reel saves, and especially Kyle Connor had some grade A opportunities last night, and Shesterkin was having none of it. So 3 pretty good picks for your 3 stars this week. The NHL revealing this morning too, and honestly, I think it looks nice. I don't have it, but they've revealed a new style for the Stanley Cup logo, which from the way they linked it, it looks like that's going to be how it looks on jerseys too. So they've updated the style and the look of it. And it does look nice. It looks like it'd probably take up less of the space on a jersey than your Stanley Cup patch does now. But it's kind of sharp. So I approve of that change. I think that'll be nice. I'm hoping that 2022 Stanley Cup patch, I can affix it to one of my jerseys for a team that I really like. That'd be great. But I'm thinking like a Stanley Cup final patch would be nice on another one of the teams that I like. Although a Stanley Cup winner patch would be nice too, but let's be honest, it's not going to happen. I understand that I cheer for 3 different teams, so mathematically I should have a chance for a team that I cheer for to win a Stanley Cup while this channel's running, but I just don't see it happening. Because when you think about it, I started watching hockey in 1981. We're now in 2022. Twice, a team that out of Dallas, Boston, Vancouver, twice, one of them's won a Stanley Cup. So the odds are not great. And then when you factor in, just mathematically, just average, just the odds, it should be more than that, but it's not. So, there you go. From last night's game, Bob Boughner, he was not happy with the overtime lack of too many men on the ice call. What stood out to me about that was, so Raquel scores the goal, they get the overtime winner, and there was some upset on the Sharks bench about the fact that there were 4 Ducks on the ice. Yes, one is leaving the ice, but how far away from the bench was he when his replacement jumps on? That's the problem they had with it. So Boughner's mad. He's calling out the officiating on this. I expect to fine, and I only say that because normally the NHL will fine him, but the way that the officials were after, I think they knew that they, at least, and again, I'm going by body language, I think they knew that it could have been a missed call, but there was no recourse. They can't go back and watch the replay and go, oh, wait, yeah, they had too many men on the ice. All right, everybody, come back. So the Ducks are leaving. The Sharks are still on the bench, and Boughner's losing his mind. And he had a point. And again, the too many men on the ice call in overtime can be controversial. We know that, Colorado. But in that case, yeah, just the way that the officials were after the game, I think they understood that might have been an oops. So if that's the case, that's a question I have for you watching this. If the officials know, let's just say officials like, yeah, that we blew that call, but we don't have a recourse to go back and call it after the play's finished and everything. Does the NHL still fine a coach for speaking out? Does the NHL still fine a hockey player for speaking out? Or do they say, yeah, that was a mess, whoops, and let it go? That's a question I have, and it's a legit question, I think, because if an official knows they messed up, if the team of officials know that they messed up, should a coach really be fined for speaking out and saying, these guys, they that was a bonehead move, they messed it up? I don't think they necessarily should, but I'd be interested to know your thoughts in the comment section below about that. Oilers news with goaltenders. Mike Smith is sick. They're saying it's non-COVID related, obviously. Skinner recalled. So Stuart Skinner recalled. And the goaltending issue with the Oilers, I've seen articles saying that the game on Saturday shows that Smith needs to be gone. But here's the thing. So both Smith and Koskinen, I've seen calls for get rid of them both. Get rid of Smith and Koskinen. And bring in who and with what money? Because there's the cap space issue. And who are you bringing in that's going to magically fix this? Marc-Andre Fleury would have to waive to go to, or it doesn't have to waive, but Chicago's given him basically, it's not a no trade clause officially, but they basically said if he wants to stay here, we'll keep him here. And so for Fleury, I think he has control over where he would go. I think Chicago would come to him and say, look, we've got a deal. And would he want to go to Edmonton, or would he say, it's fine, I'll stay here in Chicago the rest of the season? So we'll see what happens with the Oilers. But again, I don't think there's a quick fix. I honestly think to fix the goaltending problem, it's probably going to have to wait until the offseason, because there aren't, Thatcher Demko level goaltenders out there. There isn't a Jacob Markstrom out there to get picked up. So we'll see what the Oilers do. Skinner, I've seen people say they should go with Skinner. Koskinen was good the last couple of games he's played. Smith's had good games along the way here and there. But yeah, this is an issue that we knew they had in the offseason. And remember, in the offseason, Ken Holland basically came out and said, yeah, no, we're rolling with this goaltending. And it sounded like he was almost admitting we'd like to upgrade, but we really weren't able to make that happen. So there will definitely be some blame to go around should the goaltending issue end up costing them a playoff spot or end up seeing them go home early in the playoffs. And right now they're below the playoff line, so there is no guarantee of them getting in. Not to mention the fact that there are teams around them who are really playing quite well right now, and they are not playing as well, so they could fall further out. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. I'll say this, part of it I think is that coaching bump. You get those wins when the new coach takes over, and then it wears off, and I think that's part of what we're seeing in Edmonton too. But let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.